was just not working. I had a nice flow going with it, but this is better. I have better signal here. I want to make sure that I get a good, clear signal that's going out there nice. Okay, so anyway, we're going to talk today about seeing yourself through your own eyes. I'm going to ask you again, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as the projections made on you by others, those who you admired, those who you hurt, those who you've been in relationships with? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how you can stop borrowing yourself and your self-image and self-worth from the ruins of parents, past relationships, society, whatever, and anything that gets in the way of you being the best, strongest, most effective version of you, your apex you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe if this serves you. Again, if this serves you, I often tell people, every once in a while I have to do some house cleaning and tell people to get the fuck out, stop subscribing. I really want this to actually serve people, and I don't care about your loyalty. You can subscribe to me for one day and then leave tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. But I want, I don't know, who cares? Just if this serves you, it'll continue to serve you. If it serves you, if it doesn't, do whatever you do. I don't have any control over that. All right. So, as apex humans, we don't grovel for permission or beg for validation. We embody clarity, purpose, and uncompromising standards. So we're able to live full lives, really function fully. All right. Oh my, that's a lot of light. Yeah, we'll work with that. All right. So today you'll learn how to architect, or create, or design relationships that align with the optimal version of you. You'll learn how to tap into this optimal version of you in your relationships as your apex self. Now, this is a video not just, this is a video as much for me as it is for anybody else. And I'm in a beautiful time of solitude that I've kind of created it for myself. Cut off a lot of people and have just dedicated myself to something that I know that I can do. And one of the ways that I craft myself is I have to remove my ties to other people who see me in certain ways. Now, if I was one of those brutes that didn't have the requisite anatomy to pick up on how other people are perceiving me in my relationship with them, then I could maintain all the relationships in my life. But I've had to cut almost everyone out and just zone in on where I am and where I'm going. So these are some of the things that I've learned. And like I said, they will serve you if they serve you. If they don't, then that's okay. Make sure you buy the book, Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up, Bible Wisdom You're Not Supposed to Know About Real Life and the Real You. God, I keep getting messages. It's just like from TikTok and all that stuff. Oh, people are watching your shit. Okay, thank you. Also want to say that, black polygamy. I want to give a shout out to black polygamy. Again, I never refer to people like myself, Maureen people, as black, but it's an exceptional challenge because it talks about polygamy. It has a lot of wonderful interviews with women and men who have practiced polygamy. I think it's exceptional. Again, I don't think you should practice polygamy if it doesn't align with your divine design. Go with your divine design. Don't, I'm going to be apex, I need to be polygamous. Anytime you hear something that I say and it doesn't align with you, and then you feel like you got to do that to prove that you're apex, you're not apex, you're a gummy worm. Because you're letting an outside interest decide who you are. That's what this whole video is about, seeing yourself through your own eyes. A lot of times you could live 80 years of your life and see yourself as a failure because your mother told you that you were a failure, either explicitly or she did it the way that most women and most mothers do it, implicitly. Baby, can I help you with that? Are you gonna be okay? Let me pick you up, are you okay? Mom, I'm 27 years old, back off. All right? Or you have other family members that do that. I want to just encourage and support you and make sure that you're gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. All right. Anyway, Rebecca says, okay. It's a lot of words. Thank you, Rebecca. Hey, okay. Toy Story. Okay. Thank you for the comment. All right, so today we're going to talk about crafting your own self, seeing your own self in the lens of the relationships you choose, as far as friendships, business associations, romantic connections, social ties, and of course, family dynamics. I'm going to let you guys know something. We have been socialized to believe that just because we share the genetic material of people around us, that we are somehow loyal to them or we have some sort of allegiance to them. You don't. If that person is taking you off your Apex game and you have a purpose here in this world, you think that the Most High, the source code from which all of this is created, is going to go, oh, I see. Your mother didn't believe in you, and that's why you didn't bring the beauty into the world that I gave you to bring in that incarnation. You think the Most High is going to be like, oh, yeah, I forgot I gave you a shit mother. No. You have a gift to give here, and this is your time to do it. So this video is going to help you to kind of extricate yourself from those sick little ties that often get in the way of you doing what you're put here to do. Okay, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, friendships. Why did I put friendships first? I don't know. It's just the first thing that came out of my mind, so I put it. Thank you, Rebecca. All right, so true. For the Apex individual, it's essential that you choose associations that accentuate your optimal self, that bring you to your next level. True friendships are rare, very rare, and they're very real. Now, again, you could be one of those people that expects true friendships to be real and common, and you will experience that. Apex humans don't collect play dates and companions, okay? We attract allies who sharpen our vision and multiply our power. And look, you could have an enemy that's Apex. This is the thing about Apex humans. We are like the Apex predators. We have a big responsibility here in the world. We're not better than anybody else. Gummy worms are just gummy worms. They're full of fluff and useless stuff. It doesn't matter that we're just different. We're more complex. We're more developed. And so being that way, you have to associate with other Apex individuals. Falcons don't hang out with sparrows. They just don't. They're going to eat them, okay? And so as an Apex human, in order for you to move forward and to continue to cultivate that power and that productivity and that confidence and that clarity, you have to be around people that are going to sharpen that. And I'm going to let you know, just because that other person's Apex does not necessarily mean that they are for you. Lions, tigers, and leopards share habitat, for those of you who actually know, right? In India, you got the Asiatic lion, you have the leopard, the Amur leopard, and you have Bengal tigers and all that, right? They share habitats. They're all Apex predators, and they do not like each other. They don't hang out and hold hands and we're going to build each other up. No, they are gods of their ecosystems, and they have a great responsibility of maintaining the population of lower animals in that system. As humans, Apex humans, we're that same way. So you may encounter another Apex human, iron sharpens iron. You may not get along, you may not like them, they may not necessarily like you, but understand that that is your comrade. That is more your comrade than a gummy worm who treats you really nice every day and loves you all the time, right? Apex humans have to distance themselves from spiritual freeloaders and what Anton LaVey calls psychic vampires. Yes, I'm a Christian, and yes, I admire Anton LaVey because he was an Apex Christian, okay? So we don't have to agree. We just have to understand, okay, that's another Apex individual. They're killing it in their field. Let me kill it in my field. Let's compete, whatever, and sharpen ourselves as we move up. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. And that's in Proverbs 27:17. Only those who can challenge you are worthy of your circle. So sometimes dealing with Apex, this may be a person you fucking can't stand. If they're Apex and they can serve you in your process, maybe perhaps consider developing an alliance with them. All right, there's a lot of activity here. All right, thank you so much. All right, God bless you, amen. Thank you, Kingston. Thank you, Kingston. All right, so, and thank you for the laugh, Blake. William Blake, one of the greatest minds of the Western world, one of the early Satanists. All right, anyway, so the second thing to think about is when it comes to business alliances, I don't typically make business alliances, but I do support people who have, kind of in this Apex frame. So I'll up them, because if I'm upping their content, it's improving the mindsets of other people in the world. That's why I said check out Black Polygamy _ at Black Polygamy _ I'm going to put their website in the link to this video. Their website or their YouTube is in the link to the other video. They didn't ask me to do it. I just did it because I like their content. And I think if you're one of those people that is tired of monogamy, that was an intentional slip up, then this is a great encouraging channel because you can see there are people that are doing it and make it happen. I've played with the polyamorous community, and I think that's bullshit and stupid. But polygamy, as is practiced by people who are native polygamists, like Marian type people, they do it really well. They do it much better than some of these polyamorous people in the Bay Area. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Look, your ancestors have been doing it for 100. Like, both of my grandfathers were polyamorous. I mean, they're not polyamorous. They had multiple women, is what I'm saying, and children by those women. But they took care of all those kids, and they made sure multiple families were doing super well. All right. So anyway, so when it comes to business alliances, I'm getting ahead of myself. When it comes to business alliances, only align with those whose mission matches your magnitude. Okay, business is not about networking only, because you can just network with a bunch of losers. It's about creating impact and fostering this apex change that's happening within the world. All right, so you got to connect with those who share your level of purpose. Refuse partnerships with mediocre minds and double-minded or unaligned people. You know, the Bible talks about in James 1, verse 5 through 8, double-minded man is not going to get anywhere. So you got to come to the source code. You've got to come to what they call the Most High God with a clear mind. And you cannot do that if you're aligning with people that are wishy-washy knuckleheads, okay? Especially people going to challenge. Like, okay, here's the thing. It's okay to be with people going to challenge you, but I'm not talking about people that are going to cause you to doubt yourself, right? Because, like, let's say you have this thing in your heart and there's someone that's saying, oh, are you really sure about that? Because I don't know, there was a study that I read that blah, blah, blah. Fuck them. I'm talking about people that are going to say, you know what? I noticed that you said this. A lot of people say this. How are you going to back up what you're saying? That's a friend. They're going to say, you're putting it this way, you're phrasing it this way, but that doesn't make sense. How are you going to back that up and show that where you're coming from is solid? You know what I'm saying? You want people that are going to strengthen you, not tear you down. And there's a fine line. I've had people that I interacted with who would just poke holes in everything I was saying until I was like, I'm not going to say anything to this motherfucker, because I'm just going to let them say what they're going to say and just listen to them and agree with them until they're gone, and then never talk to them after that. Sometimes you got to do that. Don't waste your words with swine. All right. So business partners really, really important. The Bible says, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. Okay. For what does righteousness and wickedness have in common? And what fellowship can light have with darkness? So this is also talking about, like, people who don't believe in the mission, people who are not on board with moving forward. There are people that are like, oh, the man is holding me down. And you're like, the man has never held me down. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to make it happen in the world. You got to cut those people out of your life. Those people that really believe in the conspiracies, and they go, oh, you're being shadow banned and this and that. Oh, they're being racist against you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, we cannot continue to engage, because you're injecting into my perspective of myself weakness. I can overcome all of that. I can stop all that. I can crush all of that. It doesn't matter what all that stuff is. If it destroys me, so be it. I wasn't made for it. But I know I'm made for it, and I can only associate with people who buy into that thing. I was associated with this girl who wanted to know all my business, and she was a reporter and all this stuff. She really admired me, so she came down the stairs and, like, chased me down. Was like, yo, blah, blah, blah. And we talked for like an hour or two, and she just kept trying to, like, get, like, my info and stuff like that, and I didn't give her anything. And the first thing she was like, well, you know, you need to consider the perspective of other people who have been through hard, challenging situations, because we were talking about racism. I said, it doesn't exist. I don't believe in racism. It doesn't exist. And she was like, you know, be sensitive to people who believe that because of their experiences. And I told her my experiences. I was like, it doesn't exist. And I was like, okay, I'll agree to disagree with them. You know, if they want to believe that racism exists and all this bad stuff exists, that's fine. But I'm a tiger, they're a deer. I'm a predator, an apex predator, and they are a prey animal. We don't have anything in common except for I will destroy them. So I'm not going to hang out with them, because in order for them to stay alive around me, and I'm speaking metaphorically, in order for them to stay intact mentally around me, I have to weaken myself. Like, in order for a tiger and a gazelle to hang out, the tiger has to go hungry. The tiger has to fight his urge to rip that gazelle's head off. So anybody that talks a belief system or a pattern that doesn't align with where you're going, you got to cut them out as an apex human. And so you can curtail your relationship. You can say, okay, when we talk, when we interact, does this person challenge everything I say, or do they sharpen what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. An exceptional mind is going to challenge your ideas, but not in a way that tears them down. They're going to say, well, you're saying this, but people are probably going to come at you at this angle. How would you answer that? See, you can have a mother, like some women will cut the legs off of their son. They'll castrate their sons, metaphorically, spiritually. I use very strong language, so get with it or get out. And so they will say things like, you know, oh, it's not going to work out for you. They're going to kill you. You're not going to be strong. You're not that. You're not it. A smart feminine woman will go, I hear you. Well, what if this happens? What if they come at you with this? What is my little man going to do? You see what I'm saying? A smart woman is going to build up the men around her, not cut their legs off and castrate them. And when it comes to business alliance, it's kind of the same thing. They're going to believe in your power, and they're going to believe it so much when you show a moment of weakness or you show that you're not strong enough to face the battles they see ahead. They're going to call forth the power in you and say, how will you respond in this way? What power do you have growing within you to address this thing? Instead of poke, 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 you're not going to make it. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Ugh. See what I'm saying? All right. Align only with those who match your mission and momentum and who feed your fire. Feed your power. All right. We got a lot of explanation. Yo, Jump AR is back. All right. Kingston said, yeah, God bless you. Thank you. Well, okay. Oh, they're asking about racism. Okay. I said something controversial, so I got to address this. I know that I say a lot of controversial things. To me, it just makes sense because it's in my own head, and my head is perfect. Anyway, I'm joking. Okay. All right. No, I'm not joking. I'm being honest. Serious. All right. Okay. What WDYN? Racism doesn't exist. Can you clarify what you mean by racism doesn't exist? Thank you for the question, Jump AR. Racism doesn't exist for apex humans. It does for gummy worms. I hope that clarifies it. All right. I know that didn't. I know that didn't clarify it. Okay, so for the apex predator on the savannah, right? We don't walk around and food is right there for us. We have to go out there and hunt. We have to go out there and take it. We have to go out there and kill it, right? And so that means that challenges are part of our reality. So racism doesn't exist for me, an apex human. It's just a thing. It's just part of the scenery, right? It's like I can kill and eat warthogs. I can kill and eat gazelle. I can kill and hunt zebra and giraffe and stuff like that if I really work for the giraffe or the wildebeest or whatever, right? Now for a gazelle, you know, a non-apex predator animal, they got to eat the grass. Food is right there for them. So they have to be a little more careful. They have to be on their P's and Q's. So when someone says something, oh, let me say something bad about you. Let me marginalize you. Let me treat you poorly. Let me use a word that is going to insult your ancestors. For the gazelle, that's like frightening. Oh, that's hurtful. So that's why racism exists for gummy worms. It does not exist for us. And I'm only speaking to apex humans. So if you're one of those people that had like someone treated you funny and they had a different skin color and you thought of them as better than you and you didn't realize that you were the apex, then yeah, racism exists for you. Oh, this person was, let me use the typical example. Oh, I identify as an African American. Doesn't exist, but they believe in that shit. Okay, I identify as an African American, and then this white cop pulled me over while I was fucking speeding. And they profiled me. No, they didn't. You were speeding. You were driving funny. And there's some stories I could tell you that prove racism doesn't exist, but I'm not going to tell them because I'm going to implicate myself. But I can prove to you, as an apex human, racism does not exist, okay? Not for me. For all the other guys. Okay, let me see. I'm getting money. Breathes while I'm doing this, so... I don't give a fuck. It wasn't enough it wasn't enough to entice me. So yeah, that's what I mean by racism doesn't exist. So for people who do perceive racism in their environment, that immediately identifies them as gummy worms. A gummy worm, gospel gobbling people. All right. So that's what it means. Let's see if there's anything else to follow up. The jump in says, so you're saying apex humans don't discriminate each other? That's a good question. No, because I can think of so many apex humans that were supremacists, white supremacists. Like, they didn't hide it. Rudolf Steiner, he wasn't really a white supremacist, but he was like into the German Reich, and so was Carl Jung a little bit. and I admire them. I think they were great. And there was some other like really strong supremacists I'm like totally down with. So yeah, I mean they would. That's why I was talking about earlier in the earlier point where I talked about business alliances and maybe like just because you're both apex humans doesn't mean you're going to treat each other with love and compassion and kindness. No. Leopards, lions, bears, polar bears, tigers, killer whales, they all hold hands and sing kumbaya together? No, they're all apex predators though. Apex humans does not you guys. So the thing is, the gummy worm mentality is like herd mentality. All the gazelles are nice to each other. They don't treat each other bad, and if one gazelle hits another gazelle, that's bad, bad, bad. No gazelle shall never hurt another gazelle. No. Apex predators, apex humans, we are the top of the food chain. That's all it means. That means that we are the most refined and most concentrated data stream exemplars in the human story. Does not make us better, does not make us good, it does not make us anything. It just makes us the top of the food chain. And so I'm talking about it from that level. So yeah, yo, I know some apex Nazis, okay? But they recognize my apex nature. So when they see me, they're like, oh shit, he's not a nigger. He's something else. Can't fuck with him. All right? So that's the difference. Gummy worms, they'll go, hey, you nigger, black blood nigger. And then the gummy worm will go, oh, Lord, have mercy. Racism exists. There's proof, right? For me as an apex, I got called nigger. I had things thrown at me. I had all this stuff happen. Never experienced racism in my life. There you go. All right. So I'm apex. I'm beyond it. All right. We're going to move into romantic relationships. This is going to stir up a lot of conversation. All right. Okay. But then I don't understand how it doesn't exist for apex humans. It doesn't. We're above it. That's why. Right. So it's like there's certain animals that can't get cancer. And as far as they're concerned, it doesn't exist. Like I think certain sorts of shark species, they don't get cancer. So as far as they're concerned, cancer does not exist. They don't even need to think about it. So it's irrelevant to them. So they don't even, it doesn't even, I mean, sharks don't talk to each other, but there's no like shark convention where they're like, hey, we got to deal with this cancer thing. It doesn't happen. There's certain animals that it just doesn't happen to. So for us, yeah, it may exist. Let me put it this way. Cancer pretty much exists in all like biological organisms, but some organisms have such strong immune systems that any cancerous or at least proliferation of cells in their tissues, like rapid proliferation of cells in their tissues, is immediately stomped out by a robust immune system. There's certain animals that are that way. There's certain mammals even that have that. So yeah, it exists, but it doesn't affect them. So effectively, it doesn't exist. And so for us apex humans, it doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. There was a guy, Abdullah. He's the father of the entire law of attraction movement. He was the teacher to Troward, all the big names like Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy and even Florence Scovel Shinn, if you know the law of attraction world, right? These were early 20th century thinkers, the science of mind. This guy was a Falasha. He was a Negro Jew, basically. He was from Ethiopia. His family was from East Africa, from the Horn of Africa. Sorry, Ethiopia, Abyssinia. I don't like to use Africa. But he was from Abyssinia. And he lived in, prior to integration, he was sitting in all the white sections. He was going to all their stuff. He was never checked. He walked through everything. I mean, like, and I've known of people like that. I've heard of people like that. And I've met people like that who never dealt with like segregation or being marginalized because of the color of skin. And they look just like me. So we create a certain reality around ourselves as apex humans that transcends the gummy worm limitations. And so we don't, yeah, we could talk about it, but does it serve me to talk about, I don't know, a fart made on Alpha Centauri somewhere? No, it doesn't concern me. It's like a fly farting in the deserts of Mali somewhere. Do I need to talk about that? No, racism's irrelevant. So I know I brought it up to be pejorative and clickbaity or whatever. I don't know. But truly, I do address it a lot. As a Marian man, it's never impacted me. All right? So, yeah. So if an apex human thinks they are better, again, that's a gummy worm understanding of it. We do not think we're better. Apex, okay, I'll just read it. If an apex human thinks they are better, apex because of another apex human's skin color, isn't that racism? You're 21, right? I guess. I'm gonna move on to the next one. I can't, like I said, I can explain it to you if I can't understand it for you. Apex does not mean better. And this is the hardest thing about being around people, man. Being as humans, you gotta like break things down to like the most basic stuff. And I'm not insulting your intelligence. It's not your fault. You grew up in a world full of people and they fucked your brain. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I'm not mad at you, okay? I really genuinely state that. It's just that like people will look at eagles flying high and strong and then look at chickens. They'll say the eagle is better than the chicken because the human brains have not been taught to, they've not developed the requisite anatomy necessary to understand nuance in reality. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's so difficult for me here with humans because it's like I'm human, but like it's so hard to say, okay, brown is not black. Duh. Okay, we all know that. It's like it's so obvious. Like I could speak to a 5-year-old child, they would get it. Clear, understand, clear as day. There's a little girl that I used to know when I was a little kid. I'm not friends with little girls. I'm not a fucking weirdo. But when I was a little kid, she would say, "Why are you chocolate?" She was fucking right. Her parents would, "No, they're black." She was like, and she was like on the spectrum like me. I'm Asperger. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. So there's a piece of licorice and there's like a pixie stick covered in chocolate. They're not the same color. She understood that because she had a functioning brain and she was a 4-year-old on the spectrum child. So, anyway. Let's get into emotional romantic connections because I got to get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm not being pejorative against you, Jump AR. I'm not insulting you, but the thing is, you've got to activate your apex nature. You've got to take the blockages they put on your brain to develop the requisite anatomy to see life as it actually is, like see through the narrative lenses they gave you, and then say, oh, the sky is blue. Oh, grass is green. Oh, you see what I'm saying? It's like there are a lot of obvious things in life and it's not hard work. It's not profound. It's not brilliant. It's just basic. And a lot of stuff I'm describing here is like super basic. It's just not brilliant, even though I am fucking brilliant. All right, anyway, so P3, exceptional romantic connections. So as an apex human, the romantic connections that we have to match our optimal design. And society is going to tell you things like be monogamous. That was an intentional slip. They're going to tell you things like be faithful to your partner. Be whatever. They're going to tell you all these be whatever. And it's going to be based on Hollywood, Disney, bullshit, right? And so as an apex human, you got to transcend all that. Your partner selection, partner or partners, should amplify your sovereignty, not suffocate it. I did this. One of my gay friends in college, anyway, I'm on that spectrum too. But anyway, he was like, I told him, yeah, I'm dating, I'm gonna get married. And he looked at me and said, with one person? You're dating one person? He was totally friggin' gay. Like he was straight gay. Why are you gay? Right? He knew like I wasn't that guy. He was like, one person? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, interesting. Now, I rejected his implication, but he was right. And then I did that, and I was monogamous for the relationship up until a certain point. I was okay with the partner that I was with and married to for all those years doing whatever she did. And I thought that I was going to be approved in doing whatever I need to do after 12 years of waiting. Not the case. Anyway, so you've got to choose romantic relationships that actually match your sovereignty and don't suffocate it. Demand relationships built on respect, depth, and mutual evolution, not needy attachment. Again, going back to what Anton LaVey said about psychic vampires, there are a lot of people that are going to use your socialization against you. You need to be faithful to me. Bitch, we just started dating. You stupid ass. Bye. I mean, you don't say that because you should call it violence or something. But just be like, oh, Oh yeah, you need loyalty. God bless you, and then never see her again, right? Apex humans don't chase or settle. We attract equals. We require partners that level up with us or move aside. Like, I am not financially in a place right now where I could date a kind of woman that I want. Now, I interact with them, I play with them, I have fun with them, I talk to them all the time and get their numbers or whatever. But I know that what I want is not going to stay around where I currently am. So I get myself to where I want to be, and then I get what I want. And I've done it over and over and over again. Let me hurry up and answer this because you're probably talking about the last thing. So let me do this thing. Okay, I grew up in a house where I used a PC more than I talk to humans. I am also autistic. Okay, I want to make people more open-minded, so I can live in a society that isn't controlled by the media. That's happening, Jump AR. Don't worry about it. It's happening. I can agree that people should have partners that build us up, not ones that anchor us and don't motivate us. Also, these messages I sent when you were talking about it. Yeah. So thank you, AR. And look, if you're on the spectrum, this is the thing. You have had your brilliance pathologized. Okay? Let's just be honest. You're probably smarter than the vast majority of people out there. So you're probably Apex hiding under a gummy worm suit. So you may have to go through and clean house mentally, emotionally. You may have to challenge yourself to go into the substrate of your thought process and say, why do I see it this way? Why do I see me this way? Why do I perceive myself in these terms? And then say, oh, I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid to be myself because when I did that, I didn't get love and I didn't get friendship and I didn't get warmth. But you know what? Deep in my heart, I don't give a fuck about friendship. I actually don't like people that much. Then why in the fuck am I trying so hard to get their approval? Oh, now there's this part of you that might say, oh, I'm a psychopath and I'm broken. Something's wrong with me. Well, you got to deal with that too. And then you may have to tease apart the parts of yourself that are self-destructive because of the implications you picked up by your caregivers, by society, by schools, by the media, and then find your harmony so that you can go out in the world with power, productivity, purpose, peace, power, pleasure, and then gain from it what you want and live a great life, a powerful life. And then that media stuff will just die away on its own. People will see you winning and they'll say, I don't want to watch CNN, Fox, or all the other bullshit, all the other bullshit out there. I don't want to watch the gummy worm media machine. I want to see what Jump AR is up to. Whoa, Jump AR is killing it. Okay, get what I'm saying? All right. I do, and Jump AR says, I do process why I see things in certain ways. Good. Continue to do so. Look, being Apex doesn't mean we're on the same page. And just hopefully this sparks something in you that awakens something that fuels us, because we're going into a golden age. And those of us who are kind of left of center or even far right of center, whatever, those of us who are in the standard, all the way at the edge of the bell curve and beyond standard deviations, we're the ones that are going to become the rule very, very soon. That's what the golden age is about. Jump AR says, I just don't want people to experience the pain I've been through. Fuck them. Sorry. Fuck them. I mean, you don't perpetuate the pain. You don't go out there and say, well, you know what? I was hurting when you did this and I'm going to do it to you. You know, you don't do that. But fuck them. Life is moving forward. And if they want to stay still, fuck them. Let them stay still. Life is going to move forward. If they choose to stay still, they will get stuck, destroyed, obliterated. It is what it is. If you stay with them, guess what's going to happen to you? It is what it is. You got to let people be. You know, like Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. Jesus said that. That's why Jesus was a fucking gangster. Let the dead bury the dead. There are people that are spiritually dead. Let them stay in the grave. Leave them the fuck alone. Let them experience that pain. You know what? That pain may burn off their gummy worm mask and their apex nature will come forth. I've been going through the gummy worm mask burning process. It's been burning off all the gummy worm in me. I don't think there's very much gummy worm left. All right, this is a little cute kid talking about that. Yeah. So anyway, Apex humans don't chase, we don't settle, we attract our equals. There are women that I like. If I want her, if my body says yes, I just go and talk to her. I don't stick with her because I want the time to be able to say, if she's being goofy, I'm always going to tell a woman when she's goofy. Okay, that's why always the women would get upset. I'm like, I don't care, bitch, go. I didn't say bitch to her all the time, but I did act like that because it is what it is. If you don't like what I'm saying and who I am, there are a lot of other men out there that you can find, but you're not gonna find one like on my level. You're not gonna find another tiger, excuse me, you're not gonna find another tiger like this. So if you got a problem with it, God bless you, get the step in. All right, and I've done that with so many women, and they always come back. I was fucking this one, excuse me, I was having sex with this one girl, and she was with two other guys, and I didn't care. I was, always protecting myself, have perfect health. And so I was just like, you know what? I think you should really invest your time more with them because, I don't really have that kind of feeling for you. 2 or 3 days later, she's like, okay, I broke up with the other two guys. I was like, what are you doing? I wasn't in the place where I could say like, are you crazy? I don't like you like that. What are you doing? But I was just like, good for you, lady. I'm still not attracted to you like that. But she dropped the other two guys. And I knew one of them, and she broke his heart. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know what I want. And so I stick to that. So as a Marian man, I know that I can have 2 or 3 side hoe. Oh, sorry. I'm going to stick to my guns. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. But human relationships. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you something from a Marian perspective. Okay. And this is a special word about polygamy. And this is a whole thing, like there's these people that do this whole thing called, and I was a part of a couple of these. I was in a couple of threesomes. Like they were trying to develop a relationship and like build something around it. The girl and the guy like me. So it's called, they call it polyamory, but this is polygamy. Anytime you have more than one partner simultaneously and you're like open about that. It's a more mature and adult way to deal with it. But most people do this stuff. They do polyamory, they do this stuff, and they do it with like this weak, unmasculine, unfeminine way. And so I'm gonna call attention to that. As a Marian man, both of my grandfathers were Marian. One of them was actually had the name Maurice. Anyway, but polygamy is not chaos in our culture. For our heritage, polygamy was understood in society and was just like, yeah, this is what you do. Some people have one partner and literally that works for them and it's good for them. And then some people have multiple and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you just do what you do. But it was not chaos. It was a network of strategic alliances. It was about empire building. And so look at Solomon in the Bible where he talks about, he said, look, God, I want you to give me all of this wisdom. God was like, all right, now go become a polygamist. Have 300 wives and 700 concubines. All right. So Solomon got around, and obviously he didn't necessarily have sex with all those women, but he did build alliances with them. And that's ultimately what polygamy is. When you're sharing your soul with someone, your body, your romance with somebody, you're sharing a certain energy with them that is increasing their life, improving their life. And if you're an apex man, like a tiger or like a male lion, you're going to have multiple partners. Most men who reach the top are going to have 2, 3, 4 women. And you see this billionaire that got caught cheating like a dumbass, stupid idiot. He should have just left it as it is. Yeah, I'm with her. What you going to do about it? Like Tiger Woods. I love Tiger Woods, greatest man of all time. He's apex. But he should have just been open about the fact that he was banging some broad from a damn restaurant. As a man, never, like, if you're apex, man, you've put the time in, you put the mind in, you put your soul in to get where you're going. You deserve to be able to have like multiple experiences. Okay, if you're gonna have an empress, it's gonna help you build an empire. That's your main lady. Okay, she's your Mary Magdalene, right? To the Jesus, right? But you don't have a bunch of other women, okay? Maybe, possibly. Don't beat yourself up about it. Like, if you can remove the guilt and shame around that and just have what you have. And obviously pick them right. Don't pick some dumb broad that's going to get in your life and get in your face about you being with other women. Fucking drop her ass. Be clear with her from day one. I get with other women. You have a problem with that? Before I put anything in you, let's make it clear. I do this. You got a problem with that? God bless you. Get to stepping. All right? And you don't got to be that mean, but you get what I'm saying, right? So multiple spouses, multiple, and I'm speaking more to Marian men. And apex men of all types, Albanians, Mongolians, whatever. Because Asian dudes, it's the same thing. Like I know dudes from Vietnam, and the Philippines, they be getting around. So just be open about it. Guys that look like me, we tend to have multiple, Anyway, so multiple spouses, partners, choose women for strength. If you're a man, for legacy and for wisdom. Make sure you're choosing a woman, not a female. Choose a woman, not a female, because a female is going to be a goddamn feminist. She's going to get that cancer in her soul, right? God bless her. Let her get with a gummy worm male so she can beat his ass up and cut his balls off when the relationship reaches 10 years, take the kids in the house. But you, as an apex man, find a woman, right? Not a female. Anyway, that's my little side note. As a Marian man, I own that. I'm okay with it. And I don't fuck with women that are in that whole thing. And again, I'm not going to be a dumbass and be oogling and boogling after women in public. Oh, look at her ass. While I'm with my empress or my queen or whatever. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not a dumbass. There's a way to do it. There's a structure. Like my men in not my dad, but men above him, my ancestors and stuff, they knew that. And there was a code that they shared with their sons. Not my dad, unfortunately, but there was a code that they shared with their sons that they got from their fathers all the way back. There's a certain code that allows you to have multiple women. You choose the woman that's going to be right for rearing your family and building your empire. She knows what you're doing. She's okay with it. She supports it, and she respects it, and she stays the fuck out of it, all right? So any women that don't get that, get offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. Well, what about women that want to have multiple partners? I don't know what to tell you. Do what you're going to do, lady. And I do know women that do the multiple thing well, too. So, I mean, most women don't do it well, but, some will do it. All right? So, anyway, multiple partner spouses, it's all good. Partnership is exchange of power and purpose. Get with some woman that's got your back, that gets you. And I saw this one Nigerian woman. Look, I'm not typically into Marian women, but she was gorgeous and beautiful and very feminine. And I was just like, God bless it. Can you make more of these? Anyway, all right. So when you develop that kind of connection, it's a legacy, and it's not just romance. It's not fucking around. All right, Jump AR says yes, but I know that a lot of the pain people inflict is caused by society, which is why I want people to be more aware of why they feel certain emotions. That's good. Well, then there's your purpose. There's your purpose, AR. Get on it. Jump on it. Jump on it, Jump AR. Yeah, get on it. Get on it. Maybe that's your purpose. Go for it. Go out there and help the world. But help yourself first. The world cannot get anything from you if you're busted. All right? Another verse is, two are better than one. I'm not going to read that one, but this is Ecclesiastes. This is Solomon talking. Two are better than one because they have good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. And think about this. If you got two wives, I'm not saying you have that because that's a lot of work, but you have a wife and you have like a concubine and then like another concubine, that's another side chick or whatever. It's a lot of work. But if you can do it, you can do it. If you're Apex, you can do it. Your side chick, if she knows your wife and supports your wife and respects your wife and understands your wife as the main lady, your wife is going to be so happy. She's got an extra pair of hands to help with the kids. She's got another lady to take the burden off her back. And make sure that, like, what if your extra lady, like, so you got your empress that has your children, helps you build your empire, help you build your money, help you become rich and powerful and successful. And then you got a concubine, like a woman that you like have sexual energy with, and she supports your empress, your queen, right? Helps her with the kids. And this lady's one of these, college girls, right? And she doesn't want to have kids. She wants to do her own thing. She wants to be free. She wants to have that money that you give her and help her out with shit. That's a match made in heaven. Like, when God was making marriage, he was like, okay, the best marriage is that one. What are we going to make for the gummy worms? Unfulfilling monotony. Let's call it monogamy. Psych. All right, I'm just tearing into monogamy right now. Because it destroyed my life. It didn't. It didn't. I did that because I'm Apex and I have the power over my life. God gave it to me. So anyway, Solomon in Ecclesiastes 4, chapters 9 through verses 9 through 10, he said, choose a partner that multiplies your strength, not one who drains your power. So stay away from these feminist hoes. God bless them. Unless they're like your side chick, number 2 or 3 or 4. Because then they're going to be like feminist or whatever. Just don't, get a woman that's a real woman. A real woman's got her own mind, thinks for herself, and she's independent. And she's not going to let that feminist jargon get in her brain and fuck her brain up and destroy her future so she can grow up and die lonely at 50, Anyway. So, social ties. All right. I'm using up all the energy here and all of my devices. My devices are going to shit. That's okay. Who gives a fuck? I can do this. All right. So anyway, number 4, select social ties that actually serve you. Community is a tool, not a tether. Participate with associations and communities that build yourself. It's so easy to go to a church or be a part of a faith community or be a part of a sports team or something like that, or a group of people that get together where they're just like mindless stupidities. Like, oh, let's get together for beers. Let's pour poison in our body and talk about nothing and complain and be stuck. Fucking drop those niggas, man. Drop them. And when I say niggas, I'm talking about all the fucking colors of niggas out there. White, yellow, purple, green, blue, brown. All of us are brown, but you know what I mean, right? So show up as your whole undiluted self. Never shrink to fit in. If the tribe kicks you out because they can't get you, fuck them. They're worms. Move on. Excuse me, gummy worms. Full of fluff and useless stuff. Move on. Move on. Loyalty is earned, okay? So when it comes to like social ties, like again, look, I've dealt with people that are associations and then nice people. Like there's this one guy, man. He stole my shit. And then he tried to make it like he's a bitch. And he tried to make it like, oh, because of my health issues. Fuck you, man. You stole my shit. I don't give a fuck about your issues. Die. Excuse me. That was metaphorical. I'm being metaphorical, people. This is not serious. The last phrase that I said was all metaphor. I wasn't being serious, okay? I was being metaphorical. That was a good laugh. So he tried to make it my fault that his dumbass is a thief. And I was like, I was cool. I was like, okay, you can return my stuff by this time. Motherfucker, to return my stuff. Well, he's got one more thing he's got to put back. But fuck him and his health issues. I don't give a shit about it. So like I said, sometimes associations are gonna like drain your energy. And from the past, I would have said, okay, oh, this guy has a health issue. Well, let me just be okay with the fact that he stole from me. You know, in my culture, they cut your fucking hands off for that shit. So like I was saying, select social ties that align with your apex nature. People that you can participate with or share time with that aren't going to cause you to shrink yourself. For me, I don't care about your health issue. You stole. In my culture, that's a health issue of losing you. You get hand cancer. And those hands get excised. Okay? It's a cultural thing. I'm being metaphorical. I'm using a joke. That was comedy. All right? So anyway, you get to show up fully. And if you associate with people, there was this guy who was like, oh, my boss is going to do this and that and the other. I said, tell your boss to eat a dick. Because he's a bitch. He's slowing up the flow. He's an idiot. And that's what these parasites are, idiots. Tell them to go to hell. Again, this is metaphorical. I'm not being serious. I'm just saying, select people in your circle that have functioning brains, because if they're lower than you in their thinking process, if they are apex humans who've chosen to be gummy worms, that's going to contaminate you. Don't let it happen. Loyalty is earned through shared vision, not social pressure. Loyalty is loyalty to self. And so if you're dealing with people who are challenging yourself and calling yourself to go down, you got to cut them out. The Bible says in Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let this mind be in you that is also in Christ Jesus. All of this stuff, right? This is the things the Bible's saying. The world is just full of gummy worms. And if you try to fit into them and match with them, it's going to destroy your apex nature. It's going to destroy your purpose. It's destroy your life, okay? All right, let's go to Wizard. Let's say, hey, what's up, Wizard? What's up? Okay, oh, you're Wasp Z. Okay, Wasps Z, okay. Nah, bro. Should have asked. I know, exactly. What the fuck, man? You taking my shit? Because the thing, he just said, hey, I need this because I have this health issue. I'm like, take it, it's yours. I would have given it to him. But because he took it and then tried to make me feel guilty, that's called a psychic vampire. And you know what you do to psychic vampires? You feed them you feed them their stuff. You feed them their bullshit and watch them choke to death. Right? Fuck them. That's what I say. That's what Jesus said. He just didn't exist back then. So he said, let the dead bury the dead. All right? And it was in Koine Greek or in Aramaic. So that's literally, that means fuck them. Fuck them. Let them go fuck themselves. That's basically what it means in colloquial terms. Okay? Anyway, on to point 5, choose your family dynamics. All right, look, I'm not even going to say this because people in my family who think I don't love them, fuck them. But I do love my family members, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And this is going to get real harsh. I'm going to go deep. As Mauryan people, as a Mauryan father, family is not a biological obligation. It's a deliberate alliance. This is something you choose. So many times where we just kick motherfuckers out. Hey, you didn't fit up. You didn't match the flow. Get out. I don't have money. I'm alone. Well, you're going to figure it out. And it's not lovely. It's not pleasant. I do not suggest it. But we did do that. And it's not a good thing. It's not beneficial, harmonious all the time. But it's something we did. All I'm saying is that there are systems in which people do that. Okay? Now, again, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying it happened. And it made some really great people. All right? In the ancient sites, kinship was forged through shared mission, not mere ancestry. Okay? As Mauryan people and as Apex people in general, you could go back to the Albanians, people of Northern Europe, the Mongolians, go all over the world. Notice how, like, if you didn't fulfill certain things in the family, if you didn't line up with stuff, you were just like, we don't get out. They would literally sell you into slavery. You don't match. Go. You'll make our family money somehow. Not a pleasant, wonderful thing, okay? And it's led to a lot of problems. I get it. But I'm saying it existed and it is what it is. All right? So for Mauryan households, there was this matrix of mastery. Each member was responsible for contributing to the collective mission of the family. All right? Now, I'm an unusual person. You are too, probably, if you're Apex. For us, it's very different. All right? So I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to skip this part because it's going to get dark. I'm just going to make another video for it, okay? Because I got to soften it. But anyway, when it comes to family, obligation without alignment threatens your future. It threatens the household, okay? My tech is just all right now. So those who were resistant to growth were given a choice: transform or be exiled. And look at Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. Hagar was the side chick. And she did her part. She did her part. But Sarah was like, you got to get rid of her. And Abraham was like, sorry, Hagar. Here's some water. Here's some bread. Get the fuck out. So I'm just saying it existed to let you know there are multiple ways of doing things. I do not condone it. Okay? My grandfathers were Mauryan. They did things differently. They had children and families by different women, but they made sure they took care of them, so they didn't do what Abraham had to do. But, you know, that's because they had women by their sides who understood and respected them and stayed the fuck out of the way. But that was how women were back then. And those were women, you know? So anyway, I'm not saying treat your woman poorly, just saying pick a woman that gets it and love her and respect her from that level, okay? Your family is the one you choose with your soul and your spirit, okay? So honor that legacy, but never sacrifice your sovereignty. For Apex Humans, we build our own house. We surround ourselves with those who champion our becoming, not those who chain us to the past. And that means it starts with choosing a woman that sees your power. I knew from the moment that I met the ex that I was married to that she was disrespectful to my perspective of myself. And what happened was, in order for me to stay in that relationship, I had to adopt her perspective of me. And guess what that caused me to do? Fit into that perspective and play into those roles that she expected me to fulfill. Was it her fault? No. It was my responsibility. I was accountable for who I was in that relationship. And so I'm saying to those of you, men and women generally, if you're in a relationship with someone who fails to see you as you are, and you have to work really hard to match up to something and prove to them that you're something that they can't see, You are destroying yourself before you've even started that relationship. I would say it's like with me. Look, I told you guys about that girl that I met who's Lebanese, had a nice name, like a name I like from a woman. And I noticed from initially my body wasn't a full yes for her. But I was like, she's got some nice tits, nice ass, pretty face. Let me go for it. I went for it, talked to her, good conversation, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the conversation, it went nowhere. And I realized, like, from the moment I met her, she was giving me too much pushback. And she was not impolite, she was not disrespectful, but she was giving me this, like, off energy. And so when you are meeting people, relationships, family, friends, all this stuff, notice that initially. I'm going to tell you, your Apex journey will be exceptional. You'll be unstoppable. If you can pick up on that initially and say, oh, I see that. And then you pull back immediately. Oh, wait, she did what? Pull back immediately. It's like when you meet a woman initially and you ask her to do something for you, you like ask her for a favor and she immediately is like, no. Say, okay, that's all right. Hey, if she, if you guys want to smash or something like that, do that. But understand that's not a long-term relationship for an Apex man, because what's going to happen is she's not going to be on your team. Same with a woman. If you get with a man and you notice that he is weak and he's like blaming the world for his problems and, oh, my ex was a narcissist. Any man that calls a woman a narcissist at any point in his life does not have balls. He's not Apex. I mean, maybe he is because of his whatever. But like, he's not Apex. Don't fuck with him. If you're a woman, I'm just gonna give you a warning, and he says narcissist, patriarchy, even if he says narcissist, patriarchy, if he uses narcissist, patriarchy, toxic masculinity, those three words, he is not a full man. Move on immediately, because you're gonna have to cut his balls off in 10 years and take everything from him. I'm saying you're just gonna have to, because that's the only way you're gonna have a future after him. So I'm just saying. And I'm saying metaphorically, don't actually do it. You're not Lorena Bobbitt. Don't be an idiot. But you know what I mean, right? So anyway, there's a lot of conversation. Let me hit up these Bible verses. Matthew 12:50 says, whosoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and is my sister and my mother. Again, this is an allegorical statement, but Jesus is also talking about, he actually rejected his own mother when he was on the cross. He was like, go, like, get on, like, go take care of your mother, John, or whoever it was that was at the base of the cross. And so even Jesus understood this. Mary didn't necessarily, his mother, didn't understand his mission as much. And whatever reason, she didn't understand Yeshua ben Yosef's mission. She didn't really respect it, like, for real, for real. And so Jesus was like, look, I got to cut myself off from you. He even said, like, that's not my mother. This is the woman that gave birth to him. There was a statement where he was like, no, that's not my family. These people are my family. So you can actually choose your family. Choose, and first starts off with the people that are going to help build your empire, the women, the men you want to marry, long-term relationships. Make sure from the very moment you meet them, there's alignment. If anything is off, it's best to cut it off as soon as you can. Don't gaslight yourself and say, oh, but maybe they'll change. Who they are when you meet them is who they will always be. And I knew that. And I'm just telling you guys from my experience of my fuck-ups. So anyway, let me jump on this and get the fuck out of here because I got to go. All right. Yeah, it's manipulation. Yeah. Yeah, he did try manipulation. You're absolutely right. Oh, my health issue. Fuck you, thief. Excuse me. Delete yourself from... No. I'm not going to say anything. I'm responding to this guy. And I told him today, I was like, one more is still missing, motherfucker. You better put it back. And I said it in the nicest but most Apex way. I said, yeah, I'll expect to see that by end of day. Anyway. Yeah. Bro, I took a pause. Oh, yeah, a mouse. I took a mouse from someone on accident. It's been 2 years he hasn't. I mean, if it's accident, humans are human. We make mistakes. Hey, we make mistakes. We make mistakes. It's not a big deal. But this motherfucker straight up stole my shit. And I knew it because he was around. And then when my stuff went missing, he wasn't around. Like, he was always avoiding me. And I was like, this bitch-ass nigga that stole my stuff. And he's trying to avoid me like a little fucking female. And I was like, oh, okay. I knocked on his door. He wouldn't answer. And I fucking got his number and texted him. Said, yeah, that shit showed up that same day. One of them is still missing, though. So that motherfucking thing better be in the fridge. And I'm not even going to answer the text. That shit just better be there. Or I'm not going to do a ritual or anything on him. Because I don't care about it that much. It's not that big of a deal. But I can't stand thieves. It's like I really don't like thieves. I really don't like them, and I think it's native. It's in my blood. Like we don't like people that are thieves. And I get it. Whatever. I mean, do you, boo boo? But I just don't believe in it. I think it's like, first of all, I don't understand stealing. I get it. If you accidentally took something, that's an accident. Okay, whatever. I don't care about it. I mean, that doesn't matter. But if it's like, if you straight up, well, let me wait till they turn their high. Okay, that's mine now. Anyway, so in closure, relationships expose you to your self-concept. The type of people you surround yourself are going to reflect back to you a certain image of yourself. And if that image is less than Apex, if that image is not your highest, then it behooves you take a step back and say, excuse me, how do I want to see myself? And is the way that I see myself right now in this relationship serving me? If it isn't, cut it off immediately. If you can, which you can. It may hurt, but do what you got to do. Your mission is bigger than the temporary things that we find in ourselves, including relationships. And it can be hard. So anyway, the world you tolerate is the world you inherit. Refine your standards, and every bond will reorganize around you for your authentic power. And by the way, when you're full of yourself, you don't shrink, the people that surround you are going to level up or they're going to leave. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to be fine because you're going to be surrounded by other killers. And when you do that, you guys are going to make the world that works. Not a better world, not a righteous world, definitely, but not a better world, but a world that works. Okay. So if you're Apex and you're seeing this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff. And just put the stuff into practice. You know, I don't care if you do any other stuff. And if you really want to level up to the next level and actually find the Bible like backing for this. This is a deep, deep, deep esoteric dive, but it's full of stories and cool stuff and little exercises that you can use. But anyway, hey God, wake the fuck up. Bible wisdom you're not supposed to know about real life and the real you. This is taking Christianity back, putting back into the hands of the humans, the real humans, the apex humans, and out of the hand of gummy worm gospel gobblers. That's all I got to say about that. Let's close this thing out before my tech dies. And yeah. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thanks, Jump AR. Thank you, WaspX. And everybody else who joined. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for sharing all that other stuff. And then Jump AR to close this. I may not agree with all the Apex stuff. Of course, it's all good. But I do agree with trying to make the world a better place. Just to make it clear, us Apex humans are not trying to make it a better place. We just want to make a world that works. Because Hitler tried to make the world a better place. See what happened? We're not about that. We're just about a world that works. A world that works for everyone in it. And that's all we're here to do. Make a world that works. Because a world that works is something a little more objective. Because you can measure that. You can say, okay, make a world a better place, according to who? And then we don't argue about what's better. When we say make a world that works, you say, okay, a world that works. What are the basic human needs, physiological needs? Food, shelter, clothing, satisfaction, all these things in Maslow's hierarchy, right? Does the human world currently have that? No. Okay, then it's broken. Most people don't have the basic physiological needs, food, shelter, love, psychological fulfillment, these sorts of things, satisfaction, this sort of. Okay, most people don't have that. Okay, now we can get to working. When we say a better world, what does that mean? What does it mean? A world where people suffer so much they want heaven? For most Christians, that's a better world. Let's make everybody suffer so much they pray to Jesus and pray that he hits them by the truck and takes them to heaven. I'm going to pray every day, so if I walk out in the street and get hit by a truck, I go straight to Jesus. Well, or you could like redirect that energy into making your life amazing now, and then you won't want to go to Jesus. Then you're going to work to make this world work, right? So that's why I say a world that works. I don't want a better world. I could care less about that. Hitler wanted a better world. Stalin wanted a better world. Mao wanted a better world. The pioneers wanted a better world. That's why they killed off the savages, who were kind of savage. And so, you know, everybody that wants a better world is going to define it a certain way. But we can all get on the fact that fire is hot. Because when you put your hand in it, we can all agree it burns. So the idiots among us may not understand that, but that's why they burn their hands off and we don't deal with them. But they're so rare, we don't have to even worry about them. But the vast majority of people can agree on what works. So we start from there and then we build from there. And you do whatever you want from there. But you got to start with you. If you can create a life that works for you, you have the basics. You have those things working. So I'm working to get there, I'm doing my part, and you're watching this process. You're watching this process happen as it unfolds. You're watching me go through the darkness. You're watching me go through hell. You're watching me interface with Satan himself and realize I am more powerful than even him. So all of us are. Christ gave us that. Yeshua ben Yosef came and demonstrated that. And as an Apex Christian, I understand that. I live by that. I proclaim that through my lifestyle and through my choices. And so I'm just going to keep living this message until I'll just keep living it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, AR, for so much. Jump AR for your wonderful commentary, and everyone else who's been here. Have a wonderful night. Making a world that works makes it better. No. Better is one of those gummy worm terms that they use to trap you. Let's make the world a better place. Let's get rid of the narcissists. Let's get rid of the racists. Let's get rid of the people that are making the world a bad place. When you make the world work, it's very different. I know it's a semantic battle, but I'm a specialist in neurolinguistic programming. You know, I had training, 400 hours training, and got certified and all that stuff, mastering it. And the way we talk about ourselves is what we bring about ourselves. So I'm very specific and very careful about my terminology use. I do use a lot of profanity for fun and for pejorative purposes, but when we speak about ourselves and we describe the world, it's creating a concept around it. Better is a trap, you know, make the world a better place. Like I said, Hitler worked very hard for that. I mean, you want the world he created? Now, there are a lot of things they got right. The Nazis got a lot of things right. Vegetarianism, not really. But, you know, non-smoking, national parks, the Autobahn, the Volkswagen, you know, a lot of things that helped the national German citizens. But the problem with them was that they were profoundly, blindly anti-Ashkenazi. Right? I won't say they were anti-Semitic because I don't think they had a big problem with Arabs, and they're Semitic people. But they were anti-Ashkenazi Jew, and they got rid of a very important part of their society. They eradicated a lot of their countrymen because these were German people that they killed off. So they were working for a better world. And so you're going to argue with all these people over that word better. I get rid of it altogether. Like I got rid of racism. I killed it. Doesn't exist anymore. We talk about a world that works. And that's something we can objectively identify, being very pragmatic. A world that works. We look at the basic needs of the human, all those being met for humans generally. Let's go to Burkina Faso. Are they doing it? They're doing it better than they are in Guatemala. They're doing it a little better than they are in perhaps South Sudan. All right, but Switzerland's doing it even better. Norway's doing it even better. Denmark is killing it. All right, Japan, they're killing it. Okay, so we can look at certain measures and we can measure these things, and we can get on that. Now, from there, you know, all the deeper stuff, we have to delve into that a little more deeply. So, but we got to start somewhere, and a world that works is a world that we can all agree on. So, yeah. Anyway, see what AR has to say. Good night. Maybe next time I'll ask what your definitions mean better. Oh, yeah. I try to stay away from those definitions. Thank you so much, AR. Let me let you all go. And let me charge this mother phone. Stay Apex.